In Your Honor, a show where I interview extraordinary volunteers, communities, and foundations who work towards a life worth living. We're going to voice out their values and principles on how they balance work, life, and revenue in the face of no agreement, and also what really drives them to make a difference in the world. I'm your host, Katrina Mariano. Hello, everyone. For this episode, we're going to have our special guest, Arvy, who's a life coach. Since I've known him, he's a very dear friend of mine, and he's creating such a big stand in the world. Let's welcome Arvy. Hi, Arvy.
Hi, Chi.
How are you today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good also. I'm very excited about this episode with you. I've been looking forward to doing something like this with you, and we're doing it now. So, yeah, I wanted to check in. Maybe you can share with us the kind of coaching you've done or you're currently doing.
Well, the kind of coaching that I do kind of falls into three categories. There is executive coaching or coaching for leaders in the corporate space, which is part of my job. The second thing is data driven coaching. When people look at personality assessments and as a part of taking the assessment, they do a briefing. And the third one, which I do sort of pro bono, is life coaching, where people have problems related to their love life or something like that. And that's something that I do for people who normally would not have the privilege to find a coach.
Oh, so maybe you can share more about that and your community. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I got into TikTok. Like just one day I had this idea that I should create a second TikTok account that focuses on life coaching. And somewhere along the way, it took a different turn. It focused mainly on narcissism. And the community that I discovered is that there's a lot of women who got into a relationship with a narcissist. This could be their boyfriend, it could be their husband, it could be their girlfriend, but mostly women. And they were abused in a lot of ways. They were abused, like physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. And some of them started asking for advice. Some of them wanted some time to vent. Some of them just sort of commented in the video that they're going through the steps of breaking away from the narcissist. And sometimes I would comment and, just give them acknowledgement for for the steps that they have taken to freedom, whatever it is that freedom looks for them.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like a big step forward with one video. What keeps you going about this particular community that has organically showed up for you?
Well, the first thing that keeps me going is when I receive messages from people. Some of them would send a private message and say, as a result of watching the videos that you posted, it finally clicked. It finally dawned on me that the person I'm with is a narcissist and this relationship is really going nowhere. And so I have taken steps to to free myself from that situation. And when I get comments like that or messages like that, it makes me see that people find it useful. And so that's partly what keeps me going.
Yeah. And have you had any difficulties within the community, like within narcissistic people themselves who have seen your videos?
So I guess I can categorize this into three. So there are people who are unaware that they are narcissistic, and so some of them would innocently comment like, "Hey, guess what? I just found out today that I'm a narcissist." There are second category would be people who are a little bit nasty, and they would say something like, don't generalize. Not everyone who's like that is a narcissist. They're probably just manipulative. And it's true. Like, I tell people, yeah, we're not here to label people as narcissists. We're just here to potentially identify people who might abuse you. And then very rare. Some people would send me a message and say, probably the reason why you know so much about narcissism is because you're a narcissist yourself. And some of them would go, thanks for telling everyone what narcissists say. So now I have to change what I say and what I do so that people don't spot that I'm a narcissist. So it runs a whole gamut of, responses.
Yeah. How do you deal with the haters and the bashers who say comments like that?
Well, there are some that, I just leave it there, especially the ones who say, hey, I just found out I'm a narcissist. So I just leave it there, but I don't necessarily react. But the ones who are, the ones who are clearly just trying to protect narcissism and keep it a secret, I just block them. I mean, the same way that the best way to deal with a narcissist in your life, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, is just to make a clean break and block them.
Right.
Then I do the same for people who have bad intentions.
Well, that's so very smart of you. Thank God for blocking. Well, how do you also work on juggling work? You have your job, your career, and then the time to post, to maybe reply to all these messages, and maybe people who want your time. Or I mean, does this take a lot of income to generate for you?
Okay. Well, it's not income generating yet. I think you need to. I don't even know. Like, I guess you need to have 1 million followers in order to start earning income from the videos that you post. But how do I balance my time? I typically do this outside of work hours, so it's either before I go to work or after I come home. And one thing that I've realized though is that during the time when I was posting every day, because like people will tell you got to post every day for the account to grow, it was tiring. And so now I post based more on a calling. There are times when I would get an idea, and the idea just won't let go of me, and it's going to compel me to record something. So that one I honor. But if I just want to record something for the sake of recording something for that day, I don't have to, because normally it wouldn't turn out so great anyway.
Oh, wow. That is a very good advice also to take on during this time of the Aquarius. And are you exploring anything beyond the community that you currently have now? Like, you're online. Have you tried to meet up in person, or have you done any group setting on Zoom together so that way they can feel a little bit more connected?
Yeah, there have been a handful of people who reached out and said they wanted to do a one-on-one session, and I give them an option. Like if they're willing to have the session be recorded, then they don't have to pay anything. Like, I'll just post it, and whatever lessons people get from it, it benefits not just one person but a whole community. But if they say no, I'm gonna do this one-on-one, then I let them know I can't do that for free because it could take an hour. Like, there was even a call where I think I was talking to someone for more than 2 hours. So yes, there have been instances when we did it virtually, but not, like an in-person meeting. I don't think I'm ready to do that. But maybe in the future, it could be a one to many, like a group talk rather than a one-on-one conversation.
Oh, that would be something to also be part of. Well, could I also check in, like maybe for those who are listening in and watching, what is your channel? Where can they find you on TikTok? So that way, if they want to learn more and maybe even give you a follow and understand a little bit more of the community itself, they can they can get there.
So the TikTok account is coach.rv. Arvy is spelled as Arvy.
That's good. Well, yeah. Thank you so much, RV, for taking the time to be with us today and tonight, tomorrow. But it was very good to be able to hear you voice out for women and for those individuals who may be dealing with narcissism, not just in their partners, but even within themselves. So that's a big stand on their own, because not every narcissist is going to go out there and describe themselves as narcissist, right? So
Absolutely.
it's someone to make a stand for that. Thank you for that community, RV.
And thank you for inviting me, Chi.
Thank you so much for listening in. I trust that you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next.